Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and welcome. It's Nurse Richard the Wax Wizard. I almost forgot what I usually say then. It's been a long day today. Right, an absolute nightmare of an earwax removal in today's video. I thought it would be a lot easier than it actually was. But as well as the wax removal, which is just one ear, and it's about 15 minutes long, so that's gives you a clue as to how awkward and difficult this thing was. I have also got some very exciting news to share with you, which I'll share with you in a couple of minutes. But I will first tell you a little bit about this here and the story behind it, because I really hate it when this happens to ears, and there's a very clear reason why this happens, and I've seen it many times over the years. So this chap, had experienced a blockage in his ears, obviously. So he went to get some drops from his local chemist, and they usually, well, some advise olive oil, some advise a more aggressive wax softener like sodium bicarbonate, or the favourite go-to here is hydrogen peroxide drops, and I think that's the one he used here. And what it's done, it's softened it all up, and because he's been lying on his side, it's all slipped down onto his ear, and after using it for about 3-4 days, he said, "Oh, it's not really made any difference." So he stopped using it. So what it's done, when it's softened it, it slipped down his ear, and then it's hardened up, and you kind of get these hardened shards, which are an absolute faff to remove, because it's all stuff that's really close to the ear canal. It's these shards have stuck around the edges and stuck at the bottom, and it's just really difficult and fiddly to get out, and you can't use tools for this kind of thing. You've just got to peel it away with small suction tubes. It looks really satisfying though, as I'm sure some of you will agree, but the bit at the bottom, it does get really frustrating, and it does take me a while to get it out. So if you get annoyed by things that take a while, then find another video. Anyway, before I forget, today's subscriber of the day is Barbara Coates. Now, Barbara sent me a comment asking to be subscriber of the day, and she asked me to dedicate it to a certain group of people, and I'm more than happy to do that, because Barbara said she was on a specific date when she posted the comment. This would have been a few weeks ago now, that she was celebrating being 21 years cancer-free. She's a breast cancer survivor. So she said, "I think you should make me subscriber of the day and dedicate this video to all those breast cancer survivor warriors," which I am more than happy to do. In fact, anybody who's got through it, because it affects. There's not one person who knows and who doesn't know anybody who's been affected by any kind of cancer, not just breast cancer. So I will dedicate this to all you warriors out there who've been through it. I've been through it to some degree. I didn't have anything serious, but I did have a cancerous lesion on my foot when I was much younger, which I said if you hadn't have spotted it, it would have turned nasty if we hadn't got that off. So I have some understanding of what it feels like to go through it. The worst thing is often the wait. When they're telling you, has it gone, has it not gone? Did they get all of it? Did they need to get any more? Anyway, that was so I do have some empathy with that, and a lot of my family members have been through it as well. So my hat goes off to all of you lot who've been through that and continue to go through that. And my general message to everybody would be, ladies, get them checked out. Not just here, your armpits too. And fellas, you're going to have to get your hands down there as well. Get those checked out as well. Not enough fellas do. So whilst I'm peeling this away, I'm going to tell you the very exciting news, and you're going to see above me what the exciting news is. Please welcome Nurse Vicky. So yes, we will have a new nurse working in the clinic. And as it says on that caption there, Vicky's going to be doing some weekend irrigation clinics to start with. Now, and I'll tell you a little bit about her. There's not a lot I can carry on telling you about this here. We'll talk about this other stuff, this big exciting news, and you can watch what's going on here, but long and short of it, I've already told you how it got like this. You're just going to have to watch me as I try and fiddle about trying to peel all this off, because it's in some really awkward areas. So yeah, it is what it is. It's solidified, softened wax in an awkward area. There you go. That's told you everything you need to know. Right, well, yeah, Vicky. So Vicky, I've known Vicky for how long? How long? Somewhere between 15 and 20 years. So it's lovely to have her as part of the team. Kind of, anyway. She's, strictly speaking, working for herself, working on a self-employed basis. I don't want the hassle of HR and being responsible for anyone. So Vicky already has her own mobile wax removal business on top of. She still works in public health in the same job that I used to do. And she's going to carry on doing that. And then sometimes evenings and weekends, she's been going out doing her own clinics, doing home visits and the like. And I said, do you know what? I think I get a lot of people ringing me up saying, I'd really need them doing, but I know you don't work evenings or weekends, do you, Richard? I said, no, I don't. But now I know somebody who does. So she's going to work from the clinic here. Now, Vicky is also trained in microsuction, but she was trained with head loops, so it's not something you can't record it that way. But I have been doing a lot of training with Vicky, so we're hoping that in the not too distant future, she'll be able to start doing it endoscopically with these. Sorry, I can hear some music in the background. One of the phones has gone off. Bear with me a second. No, it was the monitor next to me. Started playing something from Netflix. I don't know what it was. Anyway, never done that before. How weird. Where was I? Yeah, so I'm training Vicky to start doing things endoscopically, and so hopefully you will see some of her procedures here. This may take a good few months. You can't just teach this kind of thing overnight. It's really not easy. Now I know you're all going to ask me, does that mean we're going to get to see Vicky in the odd video with yourself? The answer is, I hope so. No, she's not shy. She's far from shy. She's an absolute hoot. But if you've never done this before, just talking in front of a camera, in front of essentially nobody, it's a bit weird if you've never done it before. So I'm going to have to bend her arm, but I think you lot need to put a load of comments down below, and hopefully she sees this. Says, "Go on, get it done, get it done," because I think we'll have a good laugh. We do have we've got on well for years. We know each other from when we first meet. She'd been qualified longer than me as a nurse, and when you do your nursing degree, you go on student placements. So the degree took me 3 years, and then 3 times a year you go on a nursing placement, from anywhere between 8 weeks to 12 weeks, and in various different specialities, just to get a feel of lots of different areas of nursing. And I got put on this placement in this unit. And I think, how can I describe it? It was for people with really rare, unusual neurological conditions. And Vicky was working there at the time, so she was actually helping to teach and train me when I was a student. And then when I qualified, I went straight into community nursing. She went somewhere else. I think she went into emergency acute medicine. Kind of like the ward-based A&E. And then after a few years of that, she came to the service that I was working for, that I'd been working for all that time. So we kind of went round full circle, you know. We kind of followed each other around a bit. And then she ended up doing ears as well on the side. And I said, I could really do some help, because I really don't want to work weekends, but a lot of people keep asking me. And they always ask me, is there somebody that you know, and somebody that you trust, or you can recommend? I said, absolutely there is. And you can now come here to see her. So I am hoping that I can bend her arm far enough that she can pluck up the courage to come on and say hello in one of these videos sooner or later. I'm sure she will. But yes, leave a lot of comments down below. A bit of peer pressure. Let's get ashamed into it, but she's funny and she's lovely, and she very, very, very experienced and skilled nurse as well. So that's exciting news for the clinic here. Anyway, where are we with the getting there? Getting there slowly but surely. And these shards that you find in the recess here, in the inferior recess, a little bit of the anterior, but the inferior recess, they're just so fiddly to get hold of and so flipping awkward. This is why I've titled the video "A Nightmare to Remove," because it is a nightmare. Because it's just so thin. And this is, I've used the smallest of the suction tubes all the way through, but it's just so thin and fiddly. And because obviously it's a really sensitive part of the ear that you're working in, I know you know that. Anyone who's ever poked anything in their ear a bit too far will know it hurts if you jab something in there that shouldn't be in there. So that's kind of the delicate game you have to play here. You have to get hold of these things without touching the side of the ear canal, because it's not very pleasant when you do that. And I've done it to myself when I've been examining my own ear, so I do know what it feels like. It's not very nice at all. I wouldn't recommend it. But again, as with all things, when you're pulling them up out of these recesses, these nooks and crannies, they always look like more than you thought they were going to look. This is no different. Look at that. Oh, lovely. Do you know what, though? I still couldn't hear very well. I could hear a little bit better, but the one that made the biggest difference was the area at the top here. That had, it had softened this wax, dribbled down on there and solidified on the eardrum, and you will see the eardrum flex a little bit. So obviously you have to be really careful when you're essentially pulling something that's stuck to somebody's eardrum. And it's really fiddly to get hold of, just trying to get a flat surface, but I want to make sure I don't push too far, because obviously you push it into the eardrum, then you don't want to do that. And I was so relieved that look how thin it is as well. I was so relieved that peeled it away from the top of the ear canal as well, because it's a really difficult spot to get into that. Now we managed to get the other piece on the eardrum there, a little bit on the right hand side there. I think we didn't quite get all of that. I don't know who we is. Probably me. I didn't get all of that. But as I've said 1,000,001 times before, you have to weigh up the pros and cons of doing anything in anybody's ear. Is there any benefits to getting that out, all of it? Not really. If you can get it out safely. So I thought I'd have a quick go, but again, this is a really tricky spot to get the right angle at. And I was having real trouble, but it is wafer thin. So I'm just readjusting. If you saw the suction tube just hovering in the middle of the ear canal, I was just readjusting the camera to get a slightly different angle. Now I think some of it did start to peel away, and when I realised it was as paper thin as it was, I thought there's no point persevering with this. It's not going to affect the patient in any way if we don't get any more than that. Yes, it'd look lovely on a video, and you say, "Ta-da! Look at this spotless ear canal." But you have to remember there's a real person behind this, and if they can start to feel it, I don't think they did feel it from what I remember anyway. But there's very little benefit. I remember saying, I said I'll have one more go at this and try and peel it down, and if it all comes with it, great. If it doesn't, not bothered. But they are just like really thin, annoying shards. It's frustrating watching it. I don't know how you guys feel. You probably do get frustrated. But yeah, we get frustrated doing it. Again, I thought that might do it. I'm willing it on, but I know the result. I know it's not all going to come. But do you know what? I was happy, and so was the patient. That's always the main thing. So anyway, don't forget to leave your comments below for Nurse Vicky. Get her pestered to come on one of these, and I'm sure she will soon. And I'm sure you will love her as well. She's an absolute hoot. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. But for now, take care of yourself. I'll see you soon. Ta-da.